The Nazis laughed at their night witches. They laughed until those women ruled the sky. In 1942, the war on the Eastern Front was a brutal meat grinder. The Soviet Union was desperate for pilots, so Stalin authorized the creation of 3 all-female air regiments. One of them was the 588th Night Bomber Regiment. When the German forces learned of this, they were amused. Women flying in combat was a joke to them. Their equipment only added to the mockery. The women were given Polikarpov Po-2 biplanes. These were obsolete planes, made of plywood and canvas fabric. They were slow, fragile, and looked like relics from the First World War. Their top speed was slower than a landing German fighter. They had no armor. They had no radios. They often had no parachutes to save weight for more bombs. The pilots navigated with a map, a compass, and a stopwatch. The Germans called them sewing machines. They were flying coffins piloted by girls. The laughter was loud across the front lines. That laughter died very quickly. The women of the 588th were not just pilots. They were ghosts. They flew only in the dead of night. They developed a terrifying tactic to maximize their one advantage: stealth. They would fly toward their target in groups as they neared the German lines. They would idle their engines. The popping sound of the old motors would stop. They would then glide in complete silence over the target. The only sound was a faint, unsettling whoosh from the wind in their wires. It was the sound of a witch's broom sweeping the sky. This sound earned them their name, Nachtwechseln, the Night Witches. This ghostly sound was the last thing many German soldiers ever heard. The silence was broken only by the shriek and explosion of their bombs. They were masters of precision and psychological warfare. They flew mission after mission all night long. Some pilots completed 10 or even 12 missions in a single night. They would land in the dark, refuel, rearm, and take off again. The harassment was relentless. No German soldier could sleep. The witches hit supply depots, command posts, and troop convoys. The German forces grew to dread them. The planes were surprisingly difficult to destroy. They flew too low for anti-aircraft guns to track effectively. They were too slow for fast Messerschmitt fighters. If a German pilot slowed down to match their speed, the fighter would stall. If they fired tracer rounds, the bullets often passed through the canvas. The flimsy planes simply didn't explode like metal ones. The mockery turned to pure terror. The German High Command offered the coveted Iron Cross to any pilot who shot one down. Few ever claimed the prize. The Night Witches became legends. They flew more than 24,000 combat sorties by the end of the war. They dropped over 23,000 tons of bombs. They were the most highly decorated female unit in the entire Red Army. 23 of its pilots were awarded the title Hero of the Soviet Union. They had started as a propaganda joke. They ended as one of the most effective units in the air. They flew their plywood planes from the burning fields of Stalingrad to the gates of Berlin. By the time they landed for the last time, no one was laughing. They had ruled the night.